Hi, I'm Dave Kuhn Orchards. We're in Cashtown, Pennsylvania, near Gettysburg, fifth generation fruit operation. And we did custom storage years ago. We still do some. We did some controlled atmosphere, and we needed equipment to create low oxygen conditions for apples for long-term storage. So we had machinery to do that, and that's what I'm going to show you today, because we haven't used it since 2011. We've gone to a different process to accomplish that. Machinery has been stored inside here in this building, in our packing house. It's kept above freezing, so they're pretty good condition. It's never given us any, never broken down. We had to do any major repairs other than a little bit of maintenance. And we're in the process of reselling because we don't use it anymore. So what I'm going to do is try to do a performance test. It's been suggested that we do a video of the thing running. I'll give a little explanation of it. Then we're going to run the machinery and do what they call a performance test. It's a certain amount of air. I think it's 5% oxygen air supposed to come out of the machine at 10.4 on our gauge that measures the flow. So when we measure that, I'm going to go a little bit backwards. But when we measure that, we're going to use this analyzer. This is ours. It'll go along with the nitrogen generator. It needs a sensor right now. There's no reason for us to put it in. They only last 2 years before they have to go back to the factory and replaced. So I borrowed this one from a neighbor. So when we get done, I'll be pulling a sample of air out with it and showing you the flow, hopefully, to prove that it still has the right stuff. So two major pieces. If you look at the photographs, if anything's gray, it's this compressor, screw compressor. If any of the thing is white, it's the nitrogen generator. The screw compressor, if you see up there, it's a 15-145. It's 15 horse screw Atlas Copco. 145 it's programmed, set to make 145 pounds of pressure. We have here a little sheet for maintenance. The manufacturer said to change the oil in it 6,000 hours. Well, it's got about 7,500 on it. We've got a picture of that on here. This has only been changed once. We changed it at 6. It's the only time it's done. So I think it's got a lot of life left in it. This and the other piece both came mounted on skids, so they're easy to pick up. To get them out here, all we got to do is detach the power. And it's important to note this is 3-phase 15 horse motor. But we need to detach power, take the two pieces apart here, pick it up with a forklift, make a support crate, sit it on somebody's vehicle, and away it goes. Both pieces. So it makes them easy to move. But, okay, to explain the process a little bit, this is to generate the air. For us, it was mainly to feed the oxygen generator. It does have place, of course, you can take air tools off of it. We used to use it to repair bins. This is actually a stapler, it's like a nail gun. But of course, it has other uses other than what we did it for. But our mechanical engineer that picked these pieces out for us to be able to generate our atmosphere. So it makes high pressure air, comes in the machine. It's more efficient if it's low moisture and warm. So first thing it does is take out water, and these are reservoirs for these filters to pull the water out of. I've got a bucket here that's got spit cups in the bottom. You can take the water out of it. If not, this is for a hose attachment. It gets to a certain differential, it'll blow the water out of it, which happened to us once all over the packing house here. So we decided we just drain it. So we didn't have that mess to clean up. So it goes through takes the moisture out, goes through a heat chamber, and this is the box that controls that heat chamber. If it gets too hot in there, it kicks itself off. When it gets too cool, it turns itself back on, so it regulates the temperature inside of there to treat that air before it goes into the main part of it, which is these two chambers right here. My understanding is that in there is a material that's a sheet that's rolled up. It's called they call it a molecular sieve, and the holes in that is a size that it separates out the oxygen molecules from the nitrogen molecules. So the oxygen nitrogen molecules get bled off. That's this hose down here. What's left comes out the other end, back up here. And I will tell you, the only thing I know that's broken in all this is this gauge right here. If you can see it, the needle's laying in the bottom of the gauge. That's the one for the tank here. If it was me, this is the same gauge. I just swap them out because I never use that one. Anyway, you got other places I can measure that pressure. So it goes, it comes out of these chambers, manifolds into one. This is the flow meter to tell you how much air you're generating. Needle valve, you can change the flow here, puts more back pressure on it. That makes that squeeze it harder, takes more oxygen out of it. So it's adjustable as you go along. This is just that's a safety device to pop off if it gets too much pressure so it doesn't blow a pipe. It can either go into your storage tank or it can come out of this port here, and that's where we're going to do out of this port. I have no reason to go into the tank, and I can valve that thing off, which I'll do right now. I'm going to open this thing up here, and I will be measuring from here what our oxygen content is of that airstream. This has no moving parts. It's hooked up to electricity just for this air chamber, just for this heat chamber. Other than that, there's nothing to wear out, as far as I know. Uses for this, I know they're still using this equipment for containers going to another country with fruit to keep that controlled atmosphere in it. I was told when I bought it, there's also industrial uses for a low oxygen stream or a high nitrogen stream of air. And that's as far as I know. I'm not mechanically inclined. All I can say is the thing's easy to operate, since I was able to do it. And actually, I wrote my own manual of all the steps to go through to be able to bring this rim to where I wanted it on oxygen content for the apples. We ran this as many as 5 days continuously, 12 hours a day, or 24 hours a day. I would occasionally close this and let this idle so that it would oil the parts inside, maybe 2, 3, 4 times a day. But other than that, it's just a matter of monitoring it until we got the oxygen level.